Hey there, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and this is day 20 of 31 Days of Craftoween. Today we're going to be making an altered clipboard instead of working in a journal. This one is one that I got at the $1.25 tree store. I got a couple of them, and it came with a silver bit on top, and I went a little bit nuts with the grunge factor here. I added first some gold acrylic ink. I did this off camera because it was such like a thing that it was so new to me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play off camera right now. And then after the acrylic ink, I went in with some Fallen Acorn mica stain, and I also added some translucent crackle paste. Some of the crackle paste hasn't quite dried yet, but if we take a close look, you can see this now looks pretty dang grungy. I did surround it with washi tape, and you can see where the tape ended and the mess begins. That's okay, we're going to be covering this anyway. I decided to go for a grungy look, but you might not think so based on the first base layer that's going to go down here. We have paper with velvet embossing on it. I have cut to the correct size, or as close to the correct size as I can get with this thing. It was a little bit tricky. This is going to go down on top, and you can see the pattern here. It is velvet. It is really nice, and this is kind of like the opposite of grunge. Do you like how my fingernails are now painted gold with that acrylic ink? It's so lovely. So how are we going to turn this fancy schmancy thing into grunge? I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve. So the first thing we're going to do is glue this whole thing down. Alright, you can see that there's a little bit of paper hanging out slightly over the ends, particularly the corners. But that's okay, because what we're going to do next is going to fix that. Hey, I have some sandpaper. I'm going to fold it to give myself a piece to just kind of hang on to, and we're going to just go to town on the edges. Alright, I just added some gloves because I should have done it a while ago, but we're going to be adding quite a bit of different mediums here. So I'm starting with Distress Stain Gathered Twigs, just in this dauber, and I'm just going around the edges. Alright, that took away the white edge from the sanding. The next thing I'm going to be using is some Distress Oxide Spray and Walnut Stain. And I'm going to be using it from the straw. Now, hopefully this will not be an epic fail. I'm just going to touch it to the edges here and there and let it go where it will if I get big drops and they want to slide. Next, I'm going to come back with the sandpaper, and I'm going to try, I have this idea to do like some worn vertical lines here and there. Then we're going to grab this again with the walnut stain. Okay, while I'm pondering, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the walnut stain, because it's an oxide spray, it's playing with the textures here, and the color is just like almost going gray instead of the brown of the original color. That's interesting. Welcome back. I stopped the video for a second and I was just playing with this this oxide spray and just dipping along like this and doing some little dribbles on the clipboard, and I accidentally knocked this over and I lost about half of the stuff in there. Oh, it makes me so sad. The background paper that I was using underneath this is completely soaked in walnut stain in certain parts of it, and I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous once it's dry and I can like spray some water on it and do some oxidizing techniques and use it for collage fodder, but for right now it's just a big mess. We're going to set that guy aside. I can use some of the Fallen Angel mica stain that I used on here. I also have tarnished brass spray stain. I have way too many stains, you guys. Can you tell? We can go back and use some more of this acrylic ink that we used here. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to try a little bit of this first and then come in with the Fallen Acorn and see what else. And I'm just going to hit those vertical scratches. Oops. Well, I was only going to hit the vertical scratches, but I accidentally dribbled some right there on the side. Okay, let's come in with some Fallen Acorn as well. So the tarnished brass that I just applied and the Fallen Acorn are both shiny. That could be interesting or it could be terrible. Oh wow, I am not doing a good job of keeping this in frame, you guys. I am so sorry. Working with such a large item, it's just, different dimensions than what I'm used to with this camera setup, so I apologize if you have missed things. In tomorrow's video, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled journal stuff, so we will hopefully have everything in frame then. Oh, sorry, I just bopped you. Camera shake. Okay, I think I'm going to grab the walnut stain one more time and just do some spritzes here and there. Not necessarily to go with the vertical scratches, just some spritzing on top of the clipboard, just in a few spots. And that's an oxide, so we might as well just go for it and fling some water drops on there. I'm going to do this technique where you put a puddle in your hand and just go. You get bigger drops that way. Okay, so I've dried that a bit, and you can see that we've got some areas that look like gray speckles. That is the distress oxide mixing with the water and just kind of messing around with stuff. And then I took my bone folder and just scraped down a little bit, and it got some nice smooshing here. It pulled up some of the layers on the velvet. It's looking pretty grungy. I don't know about how it's looking in the camera, but it's looking really grungy from my point of view. I took my gloves off and, look at this. So, in the long run, I'm just a mess anyway. That's alright. I feel like, though, we need to add some kind of focal point or something on this. Maybe Mod Podge it on. So, I'm going to go look for something to add. Right. I dug through the haunted houses that I have found recently and found this one, and I really like the look of it in the size in contrast to the size of the clipboard and stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of inking on this and then adhere it probably with Mod Podge, just because we've done so much to this surface and I'm not entirely sure what's going to hold and not hold. Alright, I popped a bit of Fabri-Tac underneath there, and that seemed to help. So we're going to get some on the top edges and the little fiddly bits as well. Alright, this should dry transparent. It's matte Mod Podge, which isn't never really actually very matte, but it's better than the glossy, so we'll take it. And I feel like we need a little something here. Okay, so the Mod Podge is basically dried. I did add this little sticker of this kind of witchy looking lady, and some black lace, because apparently I can't not put black lace on something. And I have one more element we're going to add. I found myself thinking, gosh, we've got all that gold up there, and then there's just nothing to play off of that. So I found this piece. It's from a broken jewelry lot thing that I got, and did the same colors that I did on top of here. And we're going to actually put it so that it's like framing this lady's face. I'm going to try Fabri-Tac first and see if that will hold. If not, we might have to hot glue it, which I'd rather not do because hot glue plus metal, it equals burned fingers. So keep your fingers crossed that this glue will work. Okay, that appears to be holding. Alright, now some of you might be going, oh my gosh, you have totally ruined that clipboard. You can't use it as a clipboard now. Like, I know. The purpose was not to create a usable clipboard. The purpose was to create something artistic. Clipboards have these lovely little hangers right here, so I could hang this up in my craft room or in my living room or wherever I wanted it to be. It is very grungy. It is very, like, looks like it's been sitting in someone's basement for a while because it looks like it's got mud on it or who knows what. But I like it. So I hope you've enjoyed this process with me, and I hope you'll join me next time when we go back to the journal. And in the meantime, have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.